What up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What up? More therapy, less stress, man. What up, Courtney Carter? I see you. What up, Courtney? How you doing, Courtney? Where you from, Courtney? What up, Darlene Golden? What's up? Man, I didn't check in with y'all a lot this week. This is going to be my thing. When I leave the gym, I go live on the way home. So we got about 15 minutes together as always. Just a few little things. How you can help me is just share it. You know what I mean? Tell people to join in, like this, find 5 people to share this with now. And your friends, hey, listen to this, because today I want to remind you of a few words that always helps me. Stop tripping. God got you. All right. And I know it's easy to trip when we're depending on our human mind, when we're trusting our circumstances, but I want to give y'all just some inspiration today, some motivation, some truth that's going to change you, man. As we talked about yesterday, I just want to say, you don't get what you want, you get what you believe you deserve. And I want you to think about this. What do you think God has for you? What do you think God believes that you deserve? What do you think God has for your life? Well, he tells us that he's here to set us apart. He tells us that he's here to prosper us and not harm us. So let's just think about that for right now. But for now, I need everybody to like this. I need everybody to share this. I need everybody to give me some energy, all right? Make sure my last live event, well, let me rephrase that. My last live event in this way, okay? My own rehab time event in this way is in Dallas, September 20th, my birthday. Come, okay? It's not just hearing me speak motivation. I'm giving you the tools to actually transform your life from a self-worth level, from a responsibility level. So, hold on. I can't do 2 things at once. Let me get out of here. All right. Mara says, I'm so defeated. All right, I'm going to talk to you today, Mara. But I need everybody here, man, to give me your energy. Let me know where you're from. Drop fire emojis. Make sure you like this. But make sure you type LL25, okay? If you want to come to my event in Dallas, September 20th, just type LL25. Again, we have a free self-worth assessment test that is major for your life. Your self-worth is everything. The reason why you're not where you want to be at is because of your self-worth, point blank, period. It's the core of who you are. Type growth if you want to take that free assessment test. It is 100 questions, but if you can't take time to do 100 questions for your life, then you're not serious anyway. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Share it if you want to. Like it if you want to. Say whatever you want in the comments. This is for you. But I want you to remember this, okay? Because I had a moment in my life. I have moments in my life where I started to believe my circumstances, right? I started to believe the things around me. I started to believe my mental health. I started to believe my own thoughts. I'm human just like you. But when I have those moments, I want you to listen to me. You ready? Type ready if you're ready. When I have those moments, I say these words: Trent, stop tripping. God got you. And remember who you are. Okay? That's the most important thing, because at some point in your life, and maybe you grew up bad, maybe you had toxic parents, I understand that. But at some point in your life, you had a belief in yourself. For most of us, at some point in your life, you had the thought that I can do things. You had the thought that, man, I can create this. You had the thought that, man, you know what? God has something for me. Then at some point, something snatched it away from you. Something stole your peace. Something stole your confidence. Something stole your strength. Maybe it was an ex-husband, an ex-wife. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was a coach. Maybe it was a teacher. Maybe it was an attempt to go do something in a failed business, and you start believing that you weren't enough. Let me tell you something. Life doesn't go around. Give me the clapping hands emojis, all right? Life doesn't go around handing out victories, y'all. It don't. That's not life. It's very rare that life says, here you go. Here's a victory. Oh, you want to be better today? You want to heal today? Here you go. Life doesn't go around handing out victories. Life always, if you get out your feelings and get into your power perspective, life always hands out lessons. Always. Life is always trying to teach you something. If you have that perspective in this, listen, I know sometimes it's hard to think like that, but if you have that perspective, you will never lose in life, because everything that comes against you is building you. But most of our perspectives is our prison. We're like, woe is me. Oh, nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Nothing good's going to happen to my life. And you keep training your life to see that and believe that, and you become that. We got to break that stronghold right now. God, please release every stronghold in every life that's feeling like they're less, that's feeling like they're not worthy enough. I pray that every stronghold, every chain is broken in your life right now. You get back to remembering who you are because of whose you are. God got you, man. Stop tripping. But if you keep putting yourself in the same situations, if you keep using the same demeaning language, if you keep going around the same toxic environments, if you keep being addicted to your laziness, if you keep being addicted to your addictions, and I know it's hard to break it, you're going to keep getting the same thing. There's called sacrifice. And some of us, we sacrifice to the wrong thing. We surrender to pain. We surrender to people. We surrender to perceptions of us. Instead of surrendering to the ultimate power, Jesus Christ, to God, to surrender, to say, God, you got me. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is not my life no more. I give my life up for you, Lord. Lead me. God, and I want to tell you, when God guides you, it's scary. You feel unqualified. You feel naked. You like, man, what's going on? You feel fearful. But it's something about the inner peace when you're achieving and you're pursuing something. When I first started this, when I first started speaking in 2010, whenever it was, I was called to do this. I know that I am. Because when y'all get me like this, it surprises me because I'm an introvert by nature. And I don't know where this comes from. Actually, I do. But it's downloaded. But I remember when I first started, I was so fearful. I was so afraid. I was so afraid of people saying, oh, that's not Trent. I know Trent. He's quiet. Like, I don't know who that is. Or I know Trent, his past. Or, oh, man, what are you talking about? I used to be so afraid of that. I used to be so afraid of letting myself down, letting my family down, letting God down. I used to be embarrassed of who I was at a point in my life, just like most human beings. But what happened is I realized something. Even in the midst of all those emotions, I still had something that I knew God's presence was with me. And you know what that was? It was peace. I had peace. You can type peace right now. If you don't have my book, Protect Your Peace, go on Amazon and type peace if you want a signed copy. But I had peace. And people always ask, Trent, how do you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because even in the midst of human emotions, because human emotions will lie to you. Human emotions will tell you, oh, this isn't meant for your life when it is. Because the enemy wants to penetrate your mind and penetrate your soul and penetrate your thoughts, because that's where he wins. The greatest war that you ever will face is not an external one, it's an internal one. It's right here. But people always ask me, Trent, how do I know? Well, you have peace. You have this inner knowing that's like, man, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I just know it's going to work out. I don't know where I'm going to find the strength, but I do know I'm going to find the strength. And when you walk into the fear, when I would walk on stage or I walk on these lives, it's like all the fear is removed. Is the fear still there? Absolutely. I'm sure it is. But it's so much peace and so much power that the fear, I cannot feel it. So you might ask, Trent, what does that have to do with my life? Well, that's an indicator that you're living the right life. Some of you got to walk away from something and you're scared. You're afraid of what people are going to say. You're afraid of the history, how long it's been. You're afraid of how people are going to look at you, what people are going to say about you. You're afraid of going on your own. You're afraid. But there's something inside of you that's saying, I need to make this decision. And there's a peace, even in the midst of all that chaos. You see, peace doesn't mean chaos doesn't exist. Peace means that chaos exists, but the chaos doesn't become us. That's what peace means. And that's how you know God is calling you to do greater things. But the thing I want to remind you of today is that you got to go back and remember who you are. At some point, you lost yourself. And it's okay to lose yourself at times, because you can find a better self in the midst of losing who you are and searching for who God wants you to be. But at some point, you lost your confidence. At some point, you lost your creativity. At some point, life took your imagination. It could have been when you were 8 years old. It could have been when you were 38. And you start believing this lie. You start believing the energy. You start believing how people treat you. People stop speaking life into you. Your friends around you treat you normal. Maybe your spouse, maybe everybody around your family starts to treat you in a certain type of way. You start to believe that. You start to question yourself, man, like, am I not enough? If I can tell you anything, man, you can't lose that battle. Because when you start believing the lies, when you start believing that you're a nobody, that you have nothing special, there's nothing special about you, that's when life becomes poison. That's when life becomes your prison, because you have no energy. And listen, man, I fight almost daily. I just left the gym, right? I'm giving you guys real time. I'm not a speaker or a motivator, whatever you want to call me, that just talks it. Like, I just left the gym. That's when my energy is right here. I woke up at 5:30, went on a walk with my wife because I'm helping her and she's helping me, and we're walking and we're talking, spending intentional time. Do we want to get up at 5 o'clock? Probably not. But once we do it, we're grateful for it, and it starts our day off better. And the energy with us and my family is just better because everybody's taking care of themselves, right? It's intentional, right? And so you have to make an intentional choice. There's nothing God can't do, but God loves when you take action and you show ultimate faith. But I want to tell you, you got to remember who you are. There was a you before the drama, right? There was a you before the breakup. There was a you before the abuse. There was a you before the trauma. There was a you before the world got its hands on you and told you who you should be. There was a you before your friends' opinions got there, penetrated your mind and told you that you could never be this, or you can never do this, or you're stupid, or that's impossible, or XYZ. And you started to believe that. I want you to go back into your imagination. That's why it's so important to spend time with yourself, even if it's in the car on the ride home, throwing on some worship music, throwing on some healing music, throwing on some inspiration, listening in silence, and getting back to hearing yourself, right? Some of you have so much noise in your life, you can't even hear yourself. And so what do? You just go with the flow. And when you go with the flow of life, I'm telling you, it will bring you to a dead end. You have to create your flow. You got to be intentional with your life. So as a coach, I want to ask you right now, today, were you intentional? Did you create your flow, or did you just go with the flow? And let's be real. Don't just type in the chat. You ain't got to even say nothing. Did you create your flow? So if you woke up, if you had a yesterday that was challenging, right? You can't do nothing about yesterday. That's another thing. We bring in the things we can't control into our todays. We allow our yesterdays to control our todays that prevent us from creating a great future. But the question I want to ask you, and type in the chat, let me know, did you create your flow, or did you just go with the flow? And if you're going with the flow, I'm going to just tell you, man, you're going to get what the flow gives you, which is average, which is a life of complaining, which is a prison perspective, which is an inconsistent life, because the flow of life is inconsistent. But a strong-minded individual, a person who is legendary, and I want to tell you there's a legend inside each and every one of you. Type LL25. I want to see you in Dallas. All right? Because you're going to get this energy. We're going to go through a whole transformational period where you leave that room knowing that it's not going to be on you. It's your fault if you stay the same after you leave that room on September 20th. And September 19th, for some of you who are joining me for my VIP party. But a legendary human being, when I say legendary, I'm talking about you. I ain't talking about somebody who got a lot of followers. I ain't talking about your favorite slave. I'm talking about you. A legendary human being wakes up and says, okay, what can I bring to today? Not what the day's going to bring to me, because we can't control that, but I'm going to create my flow. So what did I do? I woke up. I went on a walk with my wife. It was still dark outside. I took I'm going to give y'all the whole thing. Woke up, prayed, brushed my teeth, went on a walk while the kids were still asleep. Got back inside, took a apple cider vinegar, lime, warm water with a little bit of honey, shot. Put my clothes on and went to the gym. Now I'm on my way home, talking to you guys, and I'm about to go home and work. That's creating the flow. I'm giving myself a chance, man. So I want you just to do something in your life to create the flow. Or what's going to happen is you're going to stay sick. You're going to stay complaining. You're going to stay out of shape. You're going to stay overweight. You're going to stay unhealthy. You're going to stay underweight. You're going to stay lost. You're going to stay looking at everybody else, judging and being jealous of everybody else living a life that's capable for you to live, right? Focus on your own. My grandmama told me this. She said, Trent, you got too much on your own life to worry about somebody else's life. If you got time to worry about somebody else's life, you ain't doing everything in your life that you should be doing. Thank you, Grandma. She said, listen, if you got time to mind somebody else's business, then you ain't minding the business that pay you. She told me that. She said, you should have no time. You worried about somebody else's winning, then Trent, guess what? You losing. Grandmama told me that. Maybe not those exact words, but that's what she meant. So I don't have time to worry about who, what, they, if, all the things. You got time scrolling all day? Listen, come to these lives, right? I want the right people. I don't need 3,000 people in here. Come to these lives, right? Set up the notifications. Do that, because it's going to be intentional when you're listening to me on these drives home, on the drive home. But you got to be able to check how you're spending your action and your time, right? Are you scrolling social media? Are you taking in nonsense? Are you taking in things that help you? I promise you, if your life is not where it wants to be, if you sit down with me, I promise you we can change that. But you got to do your part. I coach a lot of people. I have a lot of friends, family, people close to me. I give people everything, but they got to do their part. You can't live a high-level life with low-level actions. And that's it. I wish that we could. I wish life was easier. Actually, I don't, because it builds something inside of you. Who you're becoming in the process is the most important thing, because it's building something inside of you that you can give on to your kids, a mindset, an energy that's building inside of you. So no more, God, make it easy on me. Nah, God, just make me stronger to carry it. And if I can't carry it, God, just make sure you're walking with me and carrying it for me. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys again. September 20th, I want to see, if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, man, you have no excuse. Don't say I ain't got no money, because I got you on a ticket. Rehab Time sponsors free tickets, so I got you. All right, just wait till the week of. If you can drive, come drive. I promise you it'll be worth your time. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your kids. I would say bring your dogs, but they ain't gonna allow your dogs to come in there. But you know what I mean? Like, come see me. This is probably my last live event like this. I'm still speaking, but like this. So if you ever want to see me live, here is your time, because I can't guarantee you next time. I want to see you. I want to say hi to you. I want to celebrate you. And more importantly, I want to give you some real tools, all right, to actually transform your life. We ain't talking about just motivational talk. Right now, it's just motivation. We talking about sitting down, writing things down. We talking about doing breath work. We talking about really going in deep and making sure we get into the root issue so we can really change things. Because listen, if you don't get to the root issue, those problems, that mindset will find its way back to the surface. That's the problem with us, right? What happens is that we make a change for the moment, but we didn't really make a deep level change. We made a surface change, right? You might have said, okay, I'm not talking to this guy or girl no more. That's a surface level change. But you know what happens? You usually get back in the same toxic stuff because you didn't get down to the root issue. Why are you choosing that type of guy? Why are you choosing that type of girl? Why are you choosing that type of woman? Why are you choosing those type of friends? What's making you? Oh, it's your trauma. Oh, it's the codependency. Oh, it's whatever. And once we get down to the root issue, we can change that. Some of y'all just want a quick fix. I love you. I love you too much to keep you the same. All right? I really do. And thank you for showing up. Thank you. And I don't care how old you are. Don't even be old, Trent. No, this is my age, man. Age ain't nothing but a number. You are not old or young based upon your birthday. You older based upon your death date. And some of y'all going to live a long, long life. All right? But take care of yourself, man. Take care of the things that are in your control. Listen, and I got to go after this because I need some water. But listen. How can I say this? You tell people how to treat you. Write this in the chat, everybody. Thank you, Kevin. Love you too, man. You tell people how to treat you by what you accept, right? And more importantly, write this in the chat. I show people how to respect me by how I respect myself. Right? I'm not saying I'm a bulletproof human being, man. But one thing I don't get a lot of is disrespect. Because people see my intentions. They see how I care about my life. They see how I love myself. They see how I take care of myself. And when you set that tone, when you set that precedent, when you set that standard, it scares a lot of manipulators, a lot of users away. Because they see that you have a strong sense of self-worth. Again, I got to remind you, I know y'all get tired of me talking about self-worth. But it's everything. I'm a self-worth coach, #1 in the world. Not trying to put a title to my name, whatever. #1 to those that need me to be. But self-worth is everything to me. You know what I mean? Because literally, y'all try to do all these other things and your self-worth is still low. And it breaks my heart that out of a scale from 1 to 10, only most people are at a level 1 to 2. That broke my heart when I seen that. When I seen the assessment test. So I got to fight for y'all with this. And so we must start with ourselves and ask yourself this question. What do I want out of my life? Right? That's it. Just ask yourself that. What do I want out of my life? And then make one choice to move towards that. All right? I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. It all starts with you. Keep living a beautiful life. When I end this live, just like this post. It helps me tremendously. It helps reach more people. Send a comment and press share if you want to, okay? I'll probably be talking to y'all tomorrow if I hit the gym. If not, I will definitely be talking to y'all on Friday, all right? Have a beautiful time. Let's get it.